recording. Okay, so today we are going to work with a glue thing. Okay, not the actual glue service. So if you see in glue, first of all, actually glue is divided into two parts. First is its data store, that is known as glue data catalog, where we have the options of creating the crawlers and tables, which we can use and query in the analytical tool called as Athena. So it is like an interconnected thing. Okay, so if I open one Excel, so it's a glue data catalog option. Okay, where we can create databases and tables. It's not an actual data store. It's a just a metadata store. Okay, sorry. The difference between actual data store and metadata store is actual data stores examples are SQL DB, Oracle DB, or your PostgreSQL, where the data is actually residing on the server. Okay, here what will happen? My data is still on the S3 buckets. It's still in the form of S3 files. Okay, but I can store my metadata information on glue data catalog in the form of databases and tables, and based on that it will fetch me the data. I mean, basically we can create a virtualization on top of our S3 files using the glue data catalog that we can use in the Athena service to do our SQL queries. Okay, that is what glue data catalog is. So this can be actually used by Athena also, and it can also be used by glue ETL service. Okay, so this glue ETL and this Athena can connect with glue data catalog. They will be like, this is the one single store of metadata, and these two services can access those things. I understand maybe theoretically it is not still not clearing, so I'll just show you practically, then it will be more clear. So if I come here, you can say here I have the option of data catalog. Okay, I have data integration ETL option, I have a data catalog option, and then I have ETL jobs option. This we are going to explore tomorrow. So in the data catalog option, I can see my databases, tables, and schema registries and all those things, but and the crawlers and classifiers also. Okay, then I'm just going to store database. Like I will come inside my database. Okay, then I'm going to create a database. Just click on add database and I'm going to say Airbnb. I'm just going to call it Airbnb. You can provide the location and you can provide a description. These two things are optional. Simply hit the create database. Okay, this database is created for me. Okay, it is still not storing any tables, any data inside this. Then I can see here this database has no tables inside it. Okay, till now I do not have any tables within. So what I can do, I can go on S3. Okay, on S3 I have this bucket. Let's say I want to create a table here or table on some S3 file. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a folder and I'm going to call it Airbnb underscore price, and I will just create this folder. Inside this folder I'm going to upload my file. Okay, and I'm just going to hit upload. What happened? Okay, I think there's the bucket policy applied here. So I'm just going to actually remove that bucket policy. Properties, management, permissions. I have this bucket policy. I'm just going to remove this for now. Okay. I hope you guys remember that this bucket policy was to make sure that it was just to force the encryption. I don't want this to be encrypted for now. Okay, I'm going to upload this. Okay, so now I have uploaded one file. Now actually problem is like I can do S3 select here. Okay, I can still do S3 select here and get my data, but I do not have the option of group by or doing some joins or maybe filtering the result based on some conditions. So those kind of operations I cannot achieve here on the S3 select. This is very basic of SQL that I can do on the S3 select. That too on the limited data size, that is 125 MB for now. But let's say now I want to create a table inside my Airbnb data, and I want to query this file, like this file which I have with me, Airbnb price, and I want to query this file. So what I can do, I can come here and I can either I can come on crawlers or I can click add table here. Okay, add table means you will have to provide a table name, database, and its input path and its classification manually, and you will also have to provide the schema of that. All thing you will have to do manually, but using the crawlers, we can define this schema and all this information automatically. So basically, what is crawler? Crawler is something that can access your sources, data sources, basically data sources. I'm not going to say S3 because S3 is one of the data source. Crawlers actually can crawl your databases, JDBC supports, or like wherever a database can connect. Like it can be like wherever the JDBCs are supported, you can go ahead and connect with crawlers, and they can crawl those sources and get the information from those, and it can create the tables for us. So for now, for this demo, which is the like mostly used demo, like it is the that we use crawlers on S3 bucket only. Like in real time, yes, it supports databases also, but 80 to 90% of time we just create the crawlers on S3 files. So how we can create the crawler? I just say create crawler. I'm going to call it my crawler name as the same name as my file name. It is not mandatory, it's just optional thing I'm saying. I can provide a description and tags. I can click on next. Is it saying is your data already mapped to glue tables? No, right now we have not mapped any data to our glue tables. We are doing it from scratch. I'm going to say yes. Now I will have to add a No, it's actually not yet a map, so I have to select the not yet option only. Then I have to add a data source. My data source is S3, but if you see, I have JDBC, DynamoDB, Delta Lake, or any system supported uh, which supports JDBC connection. We can go ahead and connect with crawlers. I'm going to do it with S3. For S3, we do not need any network connection. Like this is not stored on any server. So for this, we do not need any IP addresses or IDBN ID or password. All we need to browse the S3 path. I'm going to select this, my bucket name, my folder name, and I will select my file. Going to click on choose. Okay. And see, right now I am crawling to the file label, but if you crawl, like you can also have this structure, like inside this Airbnb price, you can have 2-3 more folders, and they can have their separate data. Okay, so here actually I am going to say crawl all subfolders means if I had a folder inside this Airbnb, it was supposed to crawl all the folders and create the tables for all the folders. Okay, and if I just say create new subfolder only, that means if inside this bucket, if in future I go ahead and create one more folder, okay, if I go ahead and create one more folder inside this particular folder, then my crawler is only going to respond to the new folders. Like if I had some previous folder, I will ignore those things, I will not crawl those things, and I'm just going to crawl the new folder. Okay, so basically I'm going to do some scenarios, but for now we are just going to say crawl all subfolders. Okay, and if you want to crawl this based on events, you can definitely configure the S3 events like we did configure it for the AWS Lambda. Right now I'm just going to say add an S3 data source. I am going to say next. I will need a IAM role here, okay, and that I'm going to use AWS Glue Access. This role has permissions of AWS Glue and AWS S3 full access. I will, like in the end I will show you what are permissions this role has. Okay, you can definitely click on create new IAM role and you can still use that new one, but I have already created that, so that's why I'm just going to use the old one. Next, I have to choose a database. So I have already created a database. So it is Airbnb. If you wanted to prefix some name in your tables, or you can prefix those things. Let's say I say crawled hyphen. So this particular keyword is going to be added in my table name. Then I have crawler schedule. I want to run this on, like you can schedule this on hourly basis, daily basis, or you can schedule it on the custom basis. On demand means whenever you are going to say whenever you are going to hit on the run crawler, only at that time it is going to run. So I'm just going to say next. Then we can review. So on the first page we just provided the name. Second page we created the S3 connection till the file label. Okay, remember this. If you have only single file inside the folder, you should select the file, not the folder. Then I choose my IAM role, and then I go ahead and choose the database, table prefix, and schedule. Okay, I can hit the crawler here, but before this, if you have any questions in the introduction of the crawler, I know there might be some still doubts about how it's going to work, what is the end result that we are going to get. But if you have some questions, you can let me know. I'll answer those.
Can you hear me, Jalaj? This glue is same as Hive. Is it same?
It is running on the Presto, but yeah, you can say it's the same as Hive.
Okay. And what is this this thing doing? What is it?
So see, in Hive, basically we say create table and table name and the data types of the columns, and we provide the locations, filters, separators, line terminators manually. This crawler is actually going to read your file and it's going to create that table statement automatically for you.
No, you are doing some scheduling in the crawler. Like, what does that mean? Suppose in my S3 I have an S3 bucket where I have created a glue on top of that. So can I use crawler for scheduling? Means suppose there is a delta added to this file, so this crawler will upload these things into the table. Is that what crawler?
Exactly. So right now, see, right now I just have one file. Okay, it might
Mhm.
happen that I get new files in this. So if I say crawl, like that was the option there, crawl or new folder only, or crawl the folders again. That
Mhm.
means if you say crawl the folder again, and if you get the new files here, it's going to add this data into your tables.
Mhm. Okay. Alright.
Okay, more questions? Okay, so I'm just going to hit on create crawler. It's going to take around a minute. And yes, crawler is not a free service even on the free tier account. So please do not go ahead and run crawlers indefinitely. Like you do not run them many a times. Okay, it's not a free service. One time it's going to charge you around 8 to 10 rupees like that. So if you run it 10 or 15 times, then you can expect a bill of $2. But yeah, I will say just go ahead and try these things. Okay, run it for a few times, practice it for a few times. You are already paying for this course, so more 400-500 rupees in this practice is it's not going to harm. But yeah, it's not a completely free service. So it is actually created. If I just refresh this, I should. Okay, now it is actually, you can see this crawler is created. Okay, if you see its data sources, if I just come here, basically it also shows advanced settings. No schedule, no crawlers, no. Uh, okay. Okay, so maybe I'll just run this. You can just click on run crawler. If I just execute this, now it is going to hit on my file and it's going to read the file and not going to read the data or get the data. It's just going to access the file, get the metadata, and then create a table inside the glue data catalog. Okay, so it is completed, and in the table changes option, you can see it has, just a second guys, yeah, so you can see it has one table change. That means one table has been added. Okay, now if I just go on the tables, you can see that I have crawled Airbnb price CSV table available with me. If you just click on this table, and if you see its schema, you can see it has got the schema. It has defined listing ID as a begin, price as a string, and other column as a string. So it was successfully able to get the schema, get the column names and their data types. And now I can go ahead and query this table. But where I can query this table, The service name is called as AWS Athena. Okay, now I'm going to move on the Athena console. Here on the Athena, you can just simply click on launch query editor, or you can actually come here and click on query editor. Both things are fine. Okay, now you have to choose a data source. It's AWS data catalog. Okay, and my database is Airbnb. Then you can see this has one table called Airbnb price CSV. If you click on the plus sign, you will get it a schema. And if you click on these three dots and if you say preview table, it's going to create a SQL query for you, and you can see basic SQL query, and the result will be shown, should have been shown here. Okay, something we have missed. File is there, table is there. It is going on the same location, going till file. Okay. It's my bad. You have to actually come here on the data catalog console. I think I have made the mistake in the crawler definition. If I go on my crawlers, this crawler, I'll say edit, and you are not supposed to actually choose a file. Actually, we are just supposed to choose the folder. I made a mistake there, and here I need to change this. I'll say edit, and instead of this, I'll simply say it like this. Okay, this should work. Update. And I'll just say next, and just going to hit update. It's updated. If I just run this, okay, one table has changed actually. So if I just come here and refresh this, now I get only this correct. If I just do a preview table, I can see my data now. Okay, I'm just going to hit delete on this table to avoid the confusion. So this is the trick here. We should not choose the file. We should choose the folder path only. Like if you go ahead and choose the file also, then crawler will run. It will be successful, but he will not be able to see the data. So I actually made a mistake, and I should have chosen the folder path only, because it reads the path, not the file. Okay, and this is your Athena. Okay, I simply just say drop table. That means now Okay, wait, first of all, if you have any questions in this execution or the error I got, or any questions if you have, you can ask me, then I'll move it from this place.
Where the query results are displaying?
It is just down here.
Okay, acha. Right.
So Jala, there is always a handshake with glue with this one, no? Athena.
Yes, yes, you can say. So you can read this table into glue, okay, and write into the tables using glue, or you can read the files also. See, like in real time, we guys actually use files. Like very rarely we read the glue tables. Reason is, see, the charges on Athena occurs when we read the glue data catalog, okay. How much data is scans and gets it back to us, and how much it, like all the reads and writes actually are calculated when we read or write a table, and those charges we have to pay. So instead of reading the tables from the glue data catalog, if I just go ahead and read the file directly from S3, it's just going to take a single line of change in my code, okay, and results are like all the queries and all the operations are still at the same speed, but my cost is bit reduced, and some like some syntaxes and some things are different with glue data catalog things. So we guys actually prefer to read the files directly from the S3 buckets. Now use cases of the glue data catalog comes into the picture, where the Athena is treated as a analytical store in your project, okay. This means your team is using these tables for querying the data, for joining the data, for grouping by all those operations. If you're doing the using Athena, then Athena comes then Athena is a really useful tool, okay. But if we are not using Athena as an analytical tool, we have Redshift or maybe Snowflake or any third-party tool, okay. In those cases, I personally do not feel, and even my project does not feel, that we should create Athena tables, because we are going to pay first for the crawlers, second for the data catalog storage, third for the Athena query executions, and these three services are not very cheap services. Like they are not the very expensive ones also. But idea is, if you can save the price, if you're already paying for the Redshift, then why to pay for Athena also? Like same queries we can achieve and execute on the Redshift also, then why to pay for Athena also? That's the idea here.
But again, what is Athena, Jalaj? I didn't understand. See, Athena, is it a space in cloud where you create and store the data?
See, first of all, understand this glue. This console is AWS glue, okay. This console which I have right now is Athena. Athena is a serverless query editor or query engine available on AWS cloud, where you can go ahead and execute your SQL queries. Its syntax is exactly same as any other normal SQL syntaxes, okay. Now, what is the use cases of Athena? Use cases are, whenever you have some data that you want to query, and you want to query it in the serverless manners, like you do not want to have way too many complex query, not too many joins, not too many subqueries, or not too many views you want to create. You just want to do a simple analytical query, some filtering, some group by, some little joins, okay. In those use cases, Athena comes handy. It's a easy to use service. Like if you see right in front of you, without launching a server, without making any settings, just I crawl the file, and I'm able to see I'm able to run my SQL queries. Okay. And it is also like, if I'm not running any queries, this is a free service for me. Like, it's not going to charge for me. Only the data catalog storage is going to charge for me. But on the other hand, if you are running some complex, some big and long running queries, then Athena is not the solution for that. Okay. So again, repeating, use cases for Athena is validating your data, verifying your data, doing some filtering, joining, aggregations. Okay. Those should not be on very high complexity, very heavy level of joins and groupings and sub-level queries. They should not be a very long-running queries, because it's a serverless service. You do not have any dedicated servers which are running on the Athena. Okay, and again, in a single project, if you have a Redshift and Athena both, then Athena is not a good option to have. Okay, but in the case if you do not have any specific server service like such as Redshift, then Athena is a good to go service. So I'll just give you two examples. So in one of my project, what we were doing, we were having data sets from various of our uh, various of functional teams that we have in our companies, like HRs, finance, and those HR were having like a lot of HR teams and all those things they were having, and they were sending the small files to us. Small files means around 100, 200 or 300 MB max we were getting, but we were getting multiple file sources. Okay, so what we were doing, those files were coming in the S3 to us. We were triggering the Lambda job. Then that Lambda job was triggering the glue code. Glue job was doing the transformations. And at the end, it was placing those files in the Parquet format on S3 buckets. Then a crawler was triggered, and the crawler was crawling the those folders and converting those folders into some Athena tables. Then these Athena tables were utilized by the Power BI team to create the dashboards. Okay, so the Athena engine is actually capable of connecting to outside data sources also. You can go ahead and connect Power BIs also, like Power BI, Amazon QuickSight, Tableau. You could go ahead and connect Athena with. There they were using the these Power BI dashboards. But what happened as and when, like, even though it was like small data sets, after 2 years or 2.5 years, this like number of tables got increased to a certain limit, and Power BI starting to load these data systems very slowly. So what we did, like, we already have our data in S3 buckets in the output file format. So what we did, we simply scrapped the Athena and we moved to Snowflake. Okay, and Snowflake we connected with S3, we created the tables there, and then we moved our Power BI to Snowflake, and Athena completely removed from this system. So I hope you got some idea. I have not explained Athena in way too detail because it's just a analytical service which can be easily installed. Like, there's no installation actually is required. It can be easily used after creating the tables in the Glue data catalog. You can run SQL based queries here. That's all you can do here.
Jalaj, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So even the select star also is chargeable, like any query
Yes,
if we are firing. So
it's chargeable.
and the charge amount is based on the number of record it will fetch.
It is runtime and data scanned. You can see these two information. This is the amount basis of charge.
Okay.
Jala, two questions, Jalas.
Yes, please.
The first one is, so this Athena is always referring to the S3 bucket, right?
Not always, yeah, but most of the cases, yes.
Most of the cases it is. So when you say analytics is only possible, so DML operations are not possible anywhere, right? It's only select statements. DML, when I say DML, this upsert, insert, and all those things, not.
No, it's not. Yes, you're right.
It's always analytics reporting perspective it is used.
Exactly. See,
Okay.
because you see, it's kind of a Hive thing only. Okay? You cannot go
Mhm.
ahead and modify this file.
Okay. So behind the scene, when we throw a query, it is actually the file that is being generated. I mean, it is not the SQL, right? Or real
No,
SQL.
it's not
It's
the
the
SQL.
same
See,
as Hive, right?
if I remove this file, I won't see any data here.
Okay. No, because why I'm asking is, see, in Hive, normally when we query something, behind the scene, it is a map reduce that is running. It is not a database, right? It's again file systems and
See, again, Hive is actually treated as a data warehouse, and nowadays they are not using the MapReduce engines. They are actually, I mean, you could be using the MapReduce, but now we have also the Tej is also there, and Spark is also there. That can depend, yeah. But yeah, it's a kind of the same thing. Here we have the Presto engine. Okay, engine is actually called as Presto.
Mhm.
This Athena is based on Presto. Then you see this table is just a virtualization. It just have the information about the data. Data is still here. If I just go ahead and remove this file,
Yeah, I understood, Lash. Yeah.
I mean, until unless they have done any magic, I should not get any data now.
Yeah.
You can see I do not have any data here. A
So,
table is there, its information is there, but data is not there.
so apart from S3, what can be connected with this?
So as I have shown you, if I just go ahead and create one more crawler, you can see, let me just give some name and add a source. You can see source details here. You can have JDBC stream as the source, like any JDBC stream, DynamoDB, DocumentDB, and Delta Lake.
Okay.
This Delta Lake is actually also built on top of S3 only.
Mhm. Okay. All right.
Okay, any more questions? See guys, have you got this like the use cases? Maybe the like if you know SQL or not, that is a like other thing. But what more important thing here is you should understand the use cases in your interviews, in your actual working environment. Uh, it is not important that you know syntaxes or not. The more important thing is, do you understand the use cases? So if you're talking to a client and if he says, I need a persistent data store where I can run my complete analytical queries, okay, that can be on TBs of data, and it can have multi-level joins and multi-level subqueries, or huge long-running queries. And if at that time, if you say we can go ahead and use Athena, you are absolutely wrong. This means you do not understand the cloud. Okay. And in the second use case, if he says, I just want an analytical store where I can, just do some queries, get the results. You maybe use that for some reporting and verification of my data. Those kind of use cases if he has, and he does not want to launch any servers. He is not going to use that for a very complex scenarios. He wants, and he is sure that he is not going to run too many queries also. Then what is the solution? Then solution is simply create Athena tables. That's all. Okay. I hope you guys are getting the use cases. If you don't know the definition, technically that is fine, but you should understand the use cases. I mean, if somebody says Athena, you should know what capabilities it has, pros and cons. Okay, in that case, this is all from the Athena side. Okay, we are not going to see any any combination of SQL queries. You can go ahead, definitely you can go ahead and do filters and all those things. You can try it from your end, and I'll suggest you please go ahead and try to create some Athena tables. Try to go ahead and create a crawler, execute that crawler, and get the results. Do some filtration here, do some practice, and that will be good. That will be good confidence booster for you. One thing that I was going to show you, that is IAM role. So for this, you have to click on roles, click on create role. Then now we want to assign access to which service. We want to assign access to glue. Remember, crawler is a glue entity. Okay, so I'm just going to type glue. Okay, and like if you type crawler here, I don't think that you will get anything here. You can see nothing is there. Just type glue. This means glue now can call AWS services on our behalf. Click on next. The service that we need is S3 full access. Even read access will also work if you're not going to actually anyhow it's not going to write anything. So yeah, read access will also work. Then what we will need, yeah, you will also need glue. Type this. You also need glue service role. Why? Because it's going to add it in the glue databases, glue table. That's why you also need this glue service role. Okay, then just come down and click on next and create this role. Assign a role here and create this role. Any questions, any doubts here?
This role where we will be assigning?
On the crawler, when you create the crawler, it's going to ask you for a role. You can actually hit this thing also, like you can just add a data source and click on next. I need to add a data source, so let me just add it here. Let's say I want to edit this one, so I can edit here. You can see third step is assigning the role. You have to assign the role here. If you don't assign, then you can hit on the create new IAM role. It's going to create a new IAM role for you. You can say some name and hit on create. Now this role is actually created and applied. But if you see this role definition, actually this is also actually interesting thing. If you see this role definition, okay, it should be here. AWS Glue Service Role Airbnb. Let me just maybe refresh this. AWS Glue. Yeah, this is the role. If you see its policies that it has assigned, Glue Service role is fine. Okay. And now if you see, you just like there's no S3 access for this. But if I just enhance this, you can see it has S3 get bucket, S3 list bucket, and S3 bucket ACL. That means it can get the S3 data. Okay. But interesting thing here is, and it has the get object, put object also. But just if you come slightly more down, there should be a place, if I'm not wrong. Just a second, huh? There should be a resource. Second, I am not getting that thing. Okay, actually, it looks fine. Actually, this role also looks fine. You can just hit on the create new role instead of creating already, and this is actually going to work absolutely fine for you. It has all the necessary permissions. Maybe they have enhanced, or maybe they have updated this thing, because earlier what used to happen in the resource section, we used to get the only one single AWS bucket. That means if you just go ahead and try to use the same rule for other AWS bucket, it was supposed to fail. But now it's actually going to work absolutely fine for you. So yeah, you can go ahead and use this role. Okay, then yes, if you still have more questions, I'm open for the questions. No issues.
Yeah, so this user, when we are creating a user, that time also we are attaching the same policy, and when we are creating the role, that time also it's a common policy we are assigning to that.
See, when we created the user, my intention was to show you that this user can only access the S3 buckets. That's why I say S3 access to that user. Now this glue needs to connect with S3. It is mandatory. Like that time it was optional. I could have given that user of Lambda access only. I could have given that user glue access only. But this time, when this crawler wants to get the information from the S3 bucket, it is mandatory that it has the S3 read access permission at least.
So uh, uh, in general, as per previous class, as per the IM, if we are creating the user or role, if we have to assign some services in terms of access, so underline, we are using the policies only.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and I wanted to understand about the access key once more because I was trying to go through the videos, but I didn't understood about the access key.
So if I just come here on the IAM role, okay. Okay, see. If I just open that tab, if you come inside this roles, let's say you have an on-premise tool, maybe Teradata. You know Teradata or Informatica or Talent or any tool, any ETL tool.
Uh, I have worked on talent.
Yeah, Talent is fine. So Talent actually can connect with your S3 buckets on any AWS accounts. Okay. For that, it definitely needs some permissions. Now those permissions on clouds, okay, on the cloud resources or only for the AWS resources, we can go ahead and assign these policies and these roles. Okay. But for the third party services, there's no option such like that. Okay. In that case, what we have to do, we will have to create a user. Okay, we will be creating a user. Let's say I want to assign my talent. Okay, I have a talent tool. It is on premise. I want to assign it the access of my S3 buckets. Now for sure, I don't need a console access. Okay, I will just leave it blank. Okay, I won't check it out. Okay. This is going to give me the programmatic access, not the console access. I'll hit on next. I will need to assign some policies, so I'm just going to attach policies directly. Now the talent, what it needs, what things it needs. It just needs to write the file on S3 and it needs to read the file from S3. So my S3 full access is going to sufficient. Okay. And anyhow, in the real time, you won't see the manage policies used. Like this policy has a some more permissions also. Just for an example, I am saying, okay, I'm going to select this policy. I'm going to hit on next. Now, if I go ahead and create this user, this user is created. It has the access to S3 buckets, and now I will go ahead and use this user in the talent. But talent tool will still ask me some information. That information is kind of a ID password. That ID password means access keys and secured access keys. So for that, I will have to come inside this user. I'll hit on the security credentials. I will say create access keys. Okay, and I'm just going to say other, and I'm going to hit on next. I don't want to give any description. Let's just say test is fine. Create access keys. Now these access keys are created. Now if you go ahead, okay, if you go ahead and use this access key and the secret access key from talent, you can write into my AWS accounts S3 buckets, not on any AWS S3 buckets, but only the buckets which I have in my account, because this user is authorized to access my AWS account. This is the role of access keys and secret keys. The same access keys and secret keys can be utilized in AWS services also. You can say in AWS Glue that I want to access my AWS S3 bucket. Here is the access key for that. Here is the secret access key for that, and just get my data. But AWS best practices says instead of showing these credentials in the code, we should always use IAM roles. We should not assign permissions using some access keys or secret access keys, like any ID password you should not have in the codes. We always should try to use IAM roles. But on third-party tools, these IAM roles are not going to work. So for those, we need these credentials.
Okay. So when you were giving a demo on Lambda function access key expire code, so this is how for each user the access key was created.
Yes. And now it is
Okay.
like that. I will come on my IAM. Okay. And let's say if I go in the security credentials, if I just refresh this, you can see I have one access keys assigned with me. Now idea here is I will like when I receive that email, okay, I'm going to hit actions and delete this and create the new one. An user can have two access keys, so I can also say create access keys. Okay, ideal practices like best practices, I hit create access key, I create second access key for this user. Then I connect my all tools. Let's say I'm connecting with Power BI or any other tools. Okay, I will verify my connection with the second access key. Then I will go ahead and delete my first access key, that is expired one. Got it?
Yes, I got it. And KMS service we are using to for encryption thing.
Yes.
So that is a separate service. Okay.
Yeah, that is completely completely related to securing your data using the encryption.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Somebody else has some questions?
Yeah. So, Jalaz, actually, at the client side, we won't use any access keys, right? So, in that case, how to will perform the any database task? Right?
Like what is the client? What is the client? If you can you give an example?
Or like Even though when the data processing are like most of the times we'll use the IAM roles instead of using the access keys, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you are saying that side, like in the glue, how we can use?
Yeah, when we are using AWS CLI, that time we may request access keys, but at the client side, they won't allow using access keys. So in that such case, then what we have to do?
So you are saying the same example, like if you have talent, you have to create a user with the correct IAM permissions, and you can use this create access keys, and then you can provide this access key and secret access keys as the ID password. So if you see here, if I just show you the example also, talent, if I don't forget, it's S3 put. So if you see, it needs access key and secret access key. It's clearly saying to you, access key and secret access key. Same way, I have worked on the talent, that's why I know this. Same way in Teradata, Informatica, or another tool that can connect with S3, it will have some component, and that component will need this access key, secret access key.
Okay. Okay, when we are going out of the AWS cloud, then we may need access key and the secret key.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can see from talent, actually we can do S3 close, connection, list, get, all those things we can do. So in in my first project, we were having the talent only. Talent was connected with like most various sources like Oracle, Postgre, SAP HANA systems, SAP app systems. All those systems were connected, and we were pulling the data from all those systems to S3, and we were like doing transformations. Also, we were doing in the talent, and we were just using the S3 buckets of our AWS account. Nothing else we were using.
Okay.
So again, this is also talent. You can also use for the data migration. Okay, like
Right.
AWS has this data migration service, but you can also use tools as such as talent.
Okay. Okay.
One more thing, Jalaj, is this IAM always associated with as a single sign-on in real time?
Yes, you can use IAM for single sign-on. So right now I haven't done it, but most of the times you will not like the way I log in. If you have seen me logging in, like ID and password, like that you will very rarely see in any real-time project that you are logging in like that. Based on your Active Directory, that is your Microsoft Active Directory, based on that tool, you are going to be single sign-on into your AWS accounts, and then you will be able to go ahead and use the services which are assigned to you. Assigned to you means which are authorized for you. So
Okay.
yeah, so most of the times, like they will provide you a link. That link you can bookmark on your web servers, and if you hit on that link, then it will ask you for single sign-on. And once you click on that, it's going to log in maybe with some OTP or some MFA they will do, and it will be logged into the cloud. Okay. Okay, so actually, this was the idea here, like starting from the very basics of the Glue Data Catalog, just to let you know that these things are possible, and there's no very huge features or tricks. It's an easy way. Just create the crawler and create tables and use those inside the Athena. If you understand Athena use case, then you can confidently say you know Athena. There are some theories of Athena that you can go ahead and refer. I might share some notes. Okay. And just recently they have announced. I think it was in preview till last week. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's this notebook editor. It's there now. you can go ahead and create a work group. Maybe I can use primary. No, I cannot. I have to create a work group and then I can use this thing and use Apache Spark over here. Okay, and then I can do some data transformations also using Athena. But this again, not necessary to go ahead and hit your head here, as already we have the glue service for the ETL tools. Okay, and all these Spark transformations, Spark things we are going to learn on the glue itself, where it is most important. And anyhow, about this work group and all those things, I will prepare a demo. Okay, maybe not now, because not right now it's important to focus on the more important part. Then at the end of this course, okay, we are going to finish this. We are going to cover these, second priority, third priority things. Tomorrow, I am just going to start with ETL jobs. Okay, how we can create ETL jobs inside the glue, which is the most important thing. Again, I'm repeating, if you know AWS Glue and Redshift, that these two services can also land you in the job. Even if you know AWS Glue Studio very well, then you can go ahead and land in the cloud engineering job. So you can search on Naukri and it will show you some jobs related to Glue only. Like right now also Accenture is hiring AWS Glue developers. So Glue is the most important thing, and our final project is completely built on Glue only. I mean, it has connections with Redshift, DynamoDB, S3, Lambda, and all those services. But yeah, you can say all the major part or the major coding is done on the Glue only. Okay, so that is all from my end for today. If you have any questions, you can let me know.
Jalad, nowadays
Glue
this
coding
Redshift is yeah, yes.
Yes, Nikhil. Sorry, somebody was asking some question about Redshift. So I just mute myself because when you ask now, it's just going to echo for you.
No, so I think Varsha is asking something. So always ladies first. You can go ahead, Varsha.
I was asking, like, glue coding, glue developer, glue coding will be happening in Python or PySpark?
I'll just give you Python examples also, but yeah, most time it's going to be PySpark. So Python basically we have already seen, okay. Programming is not changing. So all the operations that we have done on the Anaconda tool, you can do same things on the Python compiler of the Glue also. So that's the reason I'm going to prefer PySpark moving ahead.
Jalal, what I was trying to ask you is, see, Redshift is being replaced by Snowflake right nowadays, or any cloud-based data warehouse.
Yes, Jalas. I think processing the files from S3 through Glue to Snowflake, that will be good.
See, understand, nothing is replaced, okay. This concept of warehousing is actually same.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying replace, but nowadays preferred is Snowflake. So is it we need to have some hands-on on Snowflake is also necessary to land a job?
No, 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 no. See, again, I'm saying it is, if you understand the warehousing concept, these concepts are same, like 80 to 85%. These concepts are same on whether it's Azure Synapse, AWS Redshift, or Snowflake, or provided by Snowflake company. Okay, if you can compare these two things, like 80% concepts are same. Your warehousing concepts, your SQL queries, and the way of loading data, all these things are same. Just look and feel, and some additional features are here and there. Like Redshift also has some benefits. Snowflake also has some benefits. It's like that. So if you know Redshift very confidently, you can go ahead and take on maybe some Udemy course or some YouTube videos, and you can very easily adapt to Snowflake. And all some of the references, like how it is different, I will also provide it to you.
Yeah, Chala. So, just one request. Whatever the topic we have already covered, so if we can have one session about how, like, what kind of interview questions they would be asking or scenario-based question. So, in that way, we can prepare for the interview.
Okay, then let's finish the glue first, and then maybe we can do it.
Okay.
Jalas, actually, so instead of only the source S3, can we do from RDS, Aurora, or I mean, in the Cloud SQL database to
What?
the target database?
No, see, understand this thing. 80 to 90.
Most
Okay, it
clients
is.
will use S3 as a data lake, but some other clients will use the RDS. So they will move the files, the RDS SQL database to
See,
target
only
location.
difference between, see, understand. Only difference between S3 and RDS is the connections. Okay, once you
Right.
make connections, then it's all same. And connections are more or less
That's what
like,
we are looking for, that connection only, how to establish that connection. So you are good in this. So that's why we're asking. S3, there are a lot of information is there on online, but
hmm?
the source is RDS, then we are not getting much information.
Okay. Therefore, that then let me provide some time because this weekend actually I'm completely busy. Maybe why next weekend
No,
I will
not
just.
urgent. There is no urgency. So anytime we can, like spending 30 minutes and demoing, so connecting to RDS and moving the files to either Redshift or Snowflake, that will be good.
Yeah, I'll try. I'll try. I'll try.
Through Glue ETL.
See, actually, you should not worry about connection. I mean, I will try it from mine. That's a separate thing.
Right.
But you guys should not worry about the connections part because once you land in the job and see, if you are with company like Infosys, Wipro, Capgemini, Accenture, like these big giants, they will definitely have the security engineers and admin engineers. But if you land a job with some startup where you are the only persons with the AWS knowledge, then you might struggle with these things. Then you might have to do, connections
Right.
also and the coding also. In those cases, you might struggle, but normally it's not your job to create the connections.
Mhm. Yeah, just reviewing that one, that side also, like taking the different source instead of S3, so that will help.
I will see and try. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Jalaj, actually fed up of this consulting here, this service based.
Come again, please.
Fed up with this consulting service based company, whatever name you have put forward, right?
Sorry, Nikhil, I'm not getting your question actually.
No,
Please.
you said about Infosys, TCS, and all nice. I'm just saying, fed up with those companies. I'm saying.
See, nowadays, I mean, how many of you are looking for job change right now?
Job change, but startup and product based.
Okay. So what I will do, like I usually get requests from the HRs. So I will just start pasting them in the our WhatsApp group. Like whenever they drop a email to me. So you guys can send their you guys can send your CVs to those guys and try to connect with those things. And this interview questions definitely I will do it on Friday.
Hmm. No, I was just trying to, like, you didn't understand my context. I was like joking, saying that fed up with this service-based companies. I was just telling, I was joking, Jalaj.
See, don't get fed up, yeah. See, I have Okay, now let's stop the recording. It's going to be 15 in terms of time.